A lot of you, I'm not the one that came up that searched for this video and found it, but I found it. I was scrolling and I was like, right there. This is top 20 Power Rangers fails. I'm not sure what they mean by fails. Maybe they mean like joint partnership that didn't live up, or maybe they mean like maybe I don't know, like bloopers or whatever. I don't know. This is a video by Watch Mojo. It's crazy how the ad that we got right now is a Pepsi ad, but guess what I'm drinking right now? A Pepsi. So how they know? I'll tell you how they knew. They knew because they watched my last video and they saw I had Pepsi on me. So Google got in there and was like, type, 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 type. He got a Pepsi, so bring up all the Pepsi ads. Like when you run this Pepsi ad, let it simmer, let it go down. And you know what the next ad gonna be about? Pepsi. It's gonna be about Pepsi. And then the ad after that, that's gonna be Pepsi. And then it's gonna be Pepsi, Pepsi, Pepsi. That's a cool word to say. I ain't gonna lie to you. Pepsi. Get yourself a Pepsi Max. I was talking to my friend earlier about Pepsi Max.
Same great taste.
And he said it doesn't have as much sugar as a Diet Pepsi. Not that Diet sugar has sugar, but it has artificial.
Thirsty for more.
That.
I can't believe it, but I think they're...
It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the biggest blunders across the entire Power Rangers franchise.
Ooh.
Some spoilers may be ahead.
To answer your question, I can't demorph, because I don't know if I can breathe the air here.
Really?
Number 20.
Oh,
I'm
that
dreaming of a White Ranger. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I'm dreaming
In this
of a
holiday
White
episode, the Power Rangers
Ranger.
have to rescue Santa's workshop from Rito and Lord Zed.
I am Rito Revolto.
I know who you are, and you've been a very naughty boy this year.
How would you expect this Christmas-themed Power Rangers episode to go? Well, if you expected some awesome action with the Rangers and their morphed glory, then we've got news for you. Sure, this isn't a terrible special as it has lots of charming moments, but the lack of the iconic costumes and awesome weapons in favor of snowball fights really hold the special down.
You kids better cut that out!
Also, the plot with Zed wanting to have the elves make brainwashing toys is definitely an inspired choice. This Christmas special ultimately reminds us that the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are the coolest when they actually get to do some Mighty Morphin.
The whole thing gives me the willies!
Number 19. The lackluster crossover.
Oh, yeah.
Power Rangers, Clash of the Red Rangers. The
It was
movie.
good
A
until
crossover
he said
between
he
the
couldn't,
RPM Power
demorph.
Rangers and the Samurai Rangers should have been an exciting spectacle for the fans.
They were made out of metal, so that's why you
Unfortunately,
couldn't,
this movie really skimped on that whole concept.
Their
The
staff
only
didn't
real
work.
crossing over is with RPM Red Ranger Scott, who gets transported into the world of the Samurai Rangers.
I'm not sure we'll have met until I can look you in the eyes.
Not right now. I have my reasons.
Hardly anything else from the RPM side meets up with the Samurais, besides Scott and Evil Vengeance's General Professor Cog. Having Power Rangers from different shows meeting up can be epic, but unfortunately, this team-up fails to do more than just the bare minimum.
I wish you could demorph so I could say goodbye. Face to face.
Yeah, me too.
Number 18. Uninteresting Morphers. Power Rangers Jungle Fury. Power
was
Rangers
kinda
are
weird that they
defined
had
by their
that
morphers.
as
These
morphers.
stylish gadgets turn everyday average Joes into the colorful heroes we love. So with something that's such a revered staple of the franchise, it's sad that the morphers in Jungle Fury were so lackluster.
I got a gift for you to even out the odds.
Sunglasses?
The show's morphers were called Solar Morphers, and they were essentially just a pair of glorified sunglasses. These weren't exactly fan favorites, and we can see why.
They only did it for that one
They
series.
look like something you'd...
You talked to your dad recently?
It seemed like a idea that
Why
you
don't
would
you
come
want
up
me
with
working for your dad?
if you wanted to make like a
He's a
fan
psycho.
film.
Are you
But
threatening
then
me?
it went
We gotta go.
the morphers.
Let's just keep driving.
Because not all the morphers look realistic. That's why I like the Morphers that don't look realistic, like the Dino Thunder. And the little phone thing they got.
Communicate in English
I
easily.
hate the Megaforce Morphers.
Use Grammarly and feel confident with effective communication. Grammarly ensures you communicate clearly.
So
regret buying at Sunglass Hut. We're not saying they needed to make them completely over the top like flip phones or belt buckles, but there was barely anything that made them actually stand out. Hopefully, these morphers are good at shielding the wearer from the shade we're throwing.
Jungle Beast! Spirit Unleashed!
Number 17. The unlikable Red Ranger. Power Rangers
public.
Mystic Force. Given they're usually the leaders of their respective teams, Red Rangers are incredibly important fixtures of the Power Ranger franchise. But not all Red Rangers have been hits.
First,
Nick Russell from Mystic Force happens to be one of the most disliked Red Rangers of all.
So now you're playing with me. Ooh, someone's behind me. I'm so scared.
Belonging to a magical lineage and fated to become the light against all darkness, Nick was destined for a lot. But this chosen one ultimately fell flat. He was often lazy, reckless, and kind of a big jerk. Not exactly qualities that your savior should possess.
I charm my way into your lives just so I can rip you off. Is that it?
The Power Rangers don't need a leader who's perfect, but they should have someone who's heroic and always willing to lead by example. And Nick didn't exactly fit that bill.
Are you giving up? Get out of my way.
Number 16. Morpher Mistake. Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Remember folks, continuity is important. In Lightspeed Rescue, the Titanium Ranger Ryan Mitchell, who was taken in by Diabolico, believes his real dad abandoned him.
You didn't care what happened to me. That's not true.
But when Ryan learns that Diabolico essentially stole Ryan from his dad, the news horrifies him. Caught in a whirlwind of emotions, he lets his morpher sink to the ground. The entire scene is a dramatic one, but a production error in the immediate aftermath unintentionally contradicts it. When he goes to face his demonic captor, the morpher is still on his wrist. Sure, they make being separated from the morpher an interesting plot point in later episodes, but this mishap is hard to ignore. Number 15. Throwing a child into the mix. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Sure, insert a kid into the middle of a battle. That won't turn any heads. When the Megazord clashes against Tickle Sneezer, a child nearly the same size as the Megazord appears next to it.
So you couldn't be in half.
The explanation? Mighty Morphin extensively used footage from Zero Ranger. And in this case, the Sentai material used had a story beat involving a kid turning into a giant. But that plot wasn't carried over for this Mighty Morphin episode. So this editing botch kind of makes it look like there's an unsupervised gigantic child with front row seats to a dangerous fight. They probably should have fixed that up in post. Number 14. A show about outer space that didn't do anything cool with the concept. Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. With a name like Lost Galaxy, this show could have, placed the Power Rangers across the galaxy, battling exciting intergalactic threats and hopping planets. But this series did hardly any of that.
You told them where we're going.
No, I didn't. I told you to!
It's actually a lot like Time Force, the Power Rangers time travel show with barely any time traveling in it. What is it with these Power Ranger shows and false advertising?
I think they only
All Lost Galaxy really did was follow the Rangers on a space station / colony called Terra Venture.
Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. We are about to arrive on Terra Venture.
Having it take place there is fine, but not really enough to justify all of the Galaxy branding. The marketing for this show was truly a failure of cosmic proportions.
I like Leo. He was so funny and he was a good Ranger. Especially with that little skateboard he had. The flying skateboard. It was phenomenal.
Number 13.
Also think he
originally producing the movie costumes without visors. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. The 1995 Power Rangers movie had an infamously turbulent production history. Even the choices that ultimately improved the movie had some unwanted side effects.
Let's do it, guys! Right. It's Morphin time!
When the fight scenes were filmed, initially the helmets didn't sport the iconic visors or mouth plates. Since the entire thing looked pretty odd to say the least, they thankfully decided to correct this fashion fail.
Where'd they go?
Unfortunately though, production in general had experienced many delays, so the addition of new reshoots that they had to do certainly didn't help things. We're glad that they never went with the original visorless footage, but the reshoots were one of the many issues that made the movie such a production nightmare.
What's going on?
Number 12. Goldar's Mask, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Mobility in costumes is very important. Sure, you could have some incredibly rad designs, but what good are they if the actors can barely work with them? Such is the issue with Goldar's Mask.
You are only human, and no mere human is a match for Goldar.
In the first season of Mighty Morphin, the villain's mask proved to be a real challenge. The only portion capable of any movement was the jaw's upper half, and even that wasn't always guaranteed.
No humans ever defeated Goldar!
With how difficult the mask proved to be, it shouldn't be a surprise that they went back to the drawing board. By season 2, the mask was replaced completely. Given all the trouble it caused, it looked like retiring it was for the best.
How does it feel to be stripped of your powers forever?
Number 11, the 2017 movie reboot, Power Rangers.
Yeah.
With the craze of superhero movies and other franchise films taking
Zordon
over,
is what
only
messed
seemed
it up
fitting
for
that
me.
Saban would try to
Ain't
corner
like
that
Zordon.
market too.
It's morphin' time.
Like the way he was.
They took a gamble and brought the Power Rangers to the big screen in 2017. They hope to use the movie as a launching pad for an entire new wave of Power Rangers movies. Unfortunately, this didn't really work out when the 2017 movie tanked.
Guys?
I thought it was 2018 or 19.
The reimagining fell short due to a variety of issues, like the limited budget, which meant less screen time with the iconic weapons and only having one big action sequence. We're all for more Power Rangers, but the blockbuster-esque 2017 reboot just missed the mark.
I'll come back for it. That was terrifying. See you, buddy.
Number 10, Green Ranger Shield, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Shield was iconic. What y'all doing now?
Take my shield. The powers in it will heal you and give you energy.
When watching a mashup of footage from Power Rangers and Super Sentai, fans can usually overlook the differences, unless it's a glaring prop error. While most of the props and costumes were shipped from Japan for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, American prop makers were left to make a substitute shield out of thin cloth. This not only made it painfully obvious which scenes were American filmed, but the shield in the US version also looks like it can barely protect Tommy at all. Later, they mercifully remade the shield with the proper material for Green Ranger's return in Dino Thunder. However, they also altered his helmet by adding a silver stripe. So they fixed one aesthetic issue, but created another.
Let me guess. You want to fight? You guessed right.
Number 9.
I think that
the
was
abrupt
my
shift
prediction.
from Zeo to Turbo. Power Rangers Zeo, Power Rangers Turbo.
We quit, sir. We got a better offer.
Moving from one season to another can feel like a natural progression if done right. Unfortunately, that was not the case for the Zeo Turbo transition. The gap between the finale of Zeo and the Turbo movie brought with it unexpected visual changes, continuity errors, and unfulfilled promises from the finale.
Welcome to City Field.
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's eating. Do I just do a mouthful or what?
What?
Alley.
The Power Rangers? If I knew that, do you think I'd be lying here listening to this?
Perhaps the biggest question left unanswered was, why was it necessary to trade in the Zeo powers for the Turbo ones?
Right.
There were rumors about a cereal called Scorpion Rain that would have supposedly answered some of these questions, but it was debunked as a hoax. And sadly, this sudden move wasn't the last hasty change made in Turbo.
Before you are your new Turbo Morphers.
I felt
Number
like
8,
Turbo was a downgrade.
Jennifer L. Yen as Viper.
I've never seen the
Power
Turbo
Rangers
movie.
Lightspeed Rescue.
I think I've seen the Turbo show.
Rangers.
Arguably, the weakest
If it
links
was
in
Diva
Lightspeed
Top-
Rescue were the villains. But while most of them could at
no, I
least
think Diva
act,
Top was,
there was one notable exception.
It was
Viper.
Zeo.
They had no effect. Just what I
Was
thought.
it?
Am I
Turbo?
right,
No,
Party?
Turbo, because
I'm
Turbo had the
invincible.
fast
Sure,
recourse, right?
actress Jennifer L. Yen definitely looked the part. However, her skills as a thespian were another story. In
what?
nearly all of her scenes, her inflection is all over the place, and she delivers her lines with very unconvincing enthusiasm.
I'll destroy Mariner Bay myself!
In fact, the only time it looked like she could actually act was when her character was being killed off. Even when she returned as a zombie, her performance was deader than she was. This wasn't the last characters fans felt was miscast, but it did prove the consequences of playing a part without any real passion.
I'm Vipra, princess of all demons.
Number 7, the Peace Conference Incident.
I don't know, maybe
Mighty
I
Morphin
could.
Power Rangers. Jason, Zach, and Trini were originally slated to appear in the 1995 movie. However, with the show's rising popularity, their actors hoped Saban would go union so their salaries could improve. Saban didn't concede, so the three walked off set halfway through filming the season.
The 3 teams from Angel Grove are Jason Lee, Zach Taylor, and Trini Kwan.
And their departure didn't go unnoticed. They rarely appeared unmorphed outside of stock footage or body doubles, and stand-in actors provided their morphed voiceovers. Or tried to anyway.
Man, what's going on here?
I don't understand.
Eventually, the 3 Rangers
not
were shipped
Trini.
off to a peace conference and replaced by Rocky, Adam, and Aisha. And while unfortunately Trini never returned, Jason did make a comeback in Zeo, and Zach would return decades later in the Once and Always Netflix special.
He was our mentor, but almost a father figure.
Number 6, Kalish Explosions. Power Rangers Disney Seasons.
I'm referring to the 6-story high fireballs like that one, right there.
Did you ever notice that, starting with Power Rangers SPD, the explosions in the show suddenly started becoming gigantic and less practical? They'd erupt way behind their targets, sending them into the air unrealistically. Then the shot would be repeated again, zoomed in. This is a case of the Kalish
I thought
explosions,
they
a
were
process
always
named
missed.
after then
They
executive
would shoot
producer
them, but
Bruce
they
Kalish.
never let
What's worse is that this increase
anywhere
in
near them.
over-the-top explosions coincided with the reduction in the number of unique martial arts fight sequences the series was known for, likely to tone down the violence. But in doing so, the fight scenes became incredibly repetitive, to the point where they were a mangled mess of laser blasts flying everywhere and hitting nothing.
That is crazy.
Number 5, Justin as the Blue Ranger. Power Rangers Turbo.
He was a kid, bro.
Guys, I'm the new Blue Ranger. Isn't that cool or what?
A preteen fighting alongside teens with attitude, not exactly a perfect match. At the time, Power Rangers was losing at the ratings game, so the studio thought it would be a good idea to bring in a younger Ranger to appeal to a newer audience.
I can't believe I'm gonna be in high school. I'm not even tall enough to reach the lockers.
Enter Justin, a preteen genius taking on the mantle of the Blue Ranger after veteran Rocky injured his back. Justin himself actually made a decent Ranger, taking action the minute trouble arose. However, someone his age seemed out of place with the rest of the Rangers, and his central episodes tended to feel silly and pandered to younger audiences. Needless to say, this audience-grabbing experiment was a washout.
What's the matter? Afraid that you're gonna get beat by a little shrimpo?
Number 4, Overambitious Operation Overdrive. Power Rangers Operation Overdrive.
Yeah, I think what killed him was that he was a robot. They had an awesome theme.
If you can get past the abysmal theme song, there's no turning back.
Abysmal.
Originally,
Bro,
the plan for
great.
Operation Overdrive was for a grandiose and adventurous season, similar to its Super Sentai counterpart, Bokenger. Unfortunately, the low budget caused a lot of cut corners that affected almost every aspect of the show. According to fans, the season's pacing was off the wall. The potential for the multiple villain factions was wasted, and many of the main characters were incredibly unlikable.
Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
You were saying?
Not even a crossover with fan-favorite past Rangers could redeem the season, as the special made the legendary heroes look incompetent compared to this unlikable team. Seriously, go watch those episodes again. The Retro Rangers don't kill a single monster.
Incredible!
Way to go, Mac! Yeah!
Yeah! Awesome!
Number 3, the 20th anniversary seasons. Power Rangers Megaforce, Power Rangers Super Megaforce.
The train's almost here! I am on my way.
Considering it was a 20th anniversary season, Megaforce ultimately failed to celebrate the occasion. To start, they split the season in half, so that by the time the actual anniversary content came into play, it was a year too late. As for the actual series, fans are quick to point out that our heroes lacked any depth or backstory, and their acting was extremely bland, with Troy, the Red Ranger, easily being the worst of the bunch.
I can see that.
You have a mission to fulfill!
They may have had a much better season planned, but executive meddling thwarted those plans, leaving fans with 2 seasons filled with shallow and out-of-touch fan service, rather than telling an actual story.
Like that.
Rangers, you've now unlocked new modes that have never been seen before on this planet.
Number 2, driving David Yost away, Power Rangers Zeo.
Probably not better.
Billy is one of the most iconic Blue Rangers, and the longest lasting member of the original 5, eventually stepping down and becoming a tech assistant in Zeo. But near the end of the season, he departed the show a few episodes after his actor, David Yost, resigned.
Billy, you did it!
But I didn't, Alpha. I didn't do anything.
There were rumors about a pay dispute, but the real reason was actually much worse. Yost has since claimed he was regularly harassed by several crew members about his sexuality, with some even deeming him unworthy of being a superhero. As a result, Yost opted to walk and wouldn't return until the 30th anniversary special, Once and Always.
You're a good kid.
I think he said
we're all looking out for you.
He returned.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, the legendary battle, Power Rangers Super Megaforce.
Bro,
We'll have to do it alone this time. We're here to fight by your side.
Since the beginning of Megaforce, Power Rangers had been foreshadowing a legendary event for the finale, an epic battle featuring every Ranger from the previous 2 decades. For the next 2 years, fans endured what they called lackluster writing, bland characters, and dissatisfying tribute episodes with only 2 veteran appearances. Finally, the big battle arrived, and boy, was it a letdown. A handful of veteran Ranger actors actually accepted the last-minute invites, and only a fraction of them had any dialogue at all. And sadly, the battle itself is just as disappointing, with a heavy reliance on stock footage, the Megaforce Rangers' annoying commentary, and aggravating plot holes.
Hello, old friend! Glad to be back.
To sum it all up, it was a battle that was hyped up for 2 years, and it barely lasted 2 minutes. Talk about a super mega fail.
Well, it's time for us to leave.
Is there a more phenomenal fail we missed? Let us know in the comments.
Behold my Rangers, the Dark Rangers!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring.
Okay, thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna see you on the next video. Y'all stay tuned. We out of here.